What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the videos. Today we have the Evo back in the garage, and here we got a few parts to install. So in the interest of weight reduction, I have a lightweight battery kit from STM to mount an Odyssey PC680. This is actually the exact battery that used to be in my STI, and it was sitting for a while. Thankfully, in a couple videos ago, I was able to reactivate the battery. I don't know its condition though, if it's holding a charge. I haven't put it on like a volt test or anything. And then just for general maintenance stuff, I have rear brake pads and rotors to put on as well. So I guess from the factory that Mitsubishi actually gave the Panasonic battery a little vent. So if you notice on your stock battery, there's a little nipple there, and then there's a rubber hose. I'm gonna leave the hose here in case I ever go back to the stock battery. So I'm not gonna remove it, or I'm not gonna touch the rubber grommet there that it plugs into. So yeah, I'm just gonna install the STM small battery kit with the battery, and then hopefully we'll be good. So I got the battery hooked up just to actually test it out, and I see the lights in the car are on. Hopefully it has enough power to crank over and stuff. Good looks. Hell yeah. There's a lot of mixed reviews on the Odyssey PC680 since it's actually not technically designed for cars. It is a motorcycle battery. I daily drove my STI with one for a year. Didn't have any issues. I have one in my 240. My 240 doesn't really have an interior or like speakers or anything, so that should never be an issue. But yeah, in the STI, it never gave me a problem. So I'm gonna keep it in this car. I don't expect this battery to last that long just because it's been sitting for over a year now. But yeah, when this one goes bad, I'll definitely get another one. And just to document this, you actually don't need the STM lightweight battery kit to run an Odyssey in your car. Because if you stand it up like that, the OEM bracket actually works. But the advantage of the STM mount is that it's about 1/4 pound actually lighter for just comparing the mounts themselves. And then it also allows you to run the Odyssey battery flat like that, which further reduces the center of gravity of your car. Now, obviously, I know laying down the battery is not that big of a deal, but it all adds up and everything helps. And just one last thing with the battery, I don't have an actual scale handy to weigh them myself, but according to STM, the Odyssey battery should be 25 pounds lighter than the factory Panasonic battery. So I'm just gonna take their word for it. So I'm reducing 25 pounds from the battery and then 1/4 pound from the bracket. So 25 and 1/4 pound reduction total. All right, and that is what the battery looks like, all buttoned up. Everything's tightened down. Super solid. Battery is not going anywhere. So if you're just doing your brake pads, you actually don't need to take your caliper off. And on the Brembo, since they're a one-piece caliper, they're really easy to do. But since I am doing the rotor today, you don't have to take the caliper off. So it's actually two 17mm bolts that hold on to the knuckle. The first one is this lower guy here, and then there's another one towards the brake line or top of the caliper right here. So the rotor that I just pulled off the rear driver's side of my car is made by APM, and they're one of my favorite brake rotor designs just because of the J-hooks. I don't know exactly what's happening though, but unfortunately I could not source replacements like anywhere online. I don't know if the company went out of business or anything like that, but I also don't like buying expensive rotors. I like nice pads but cheap rotors. So usually on my cars I run blanks, and so yeah, I'll be replacing it with a StopTech blank pad, or sorry, a StopTech blank rotor. I don't like drilled rotors. They can crack. Slotted rotors, they're more aggressive. They cut your pads, which is good for track use, but blank rotors are fine for pretty much everything I'll ever be doing, and they're cheaper. I know they don't look as cool, but it works. So I'll be replacing the pads with StopTech Sport pads, and it's pretty nice that they actually included new hardware. A lot of brake pad kits don't for the Evos. Not a big deal to reuse the old stuff, but I don't know. It's always nice when you have new stuff in and you're already here. And so I have my caliper bolted on to the two mounts behind the rotor loosely, so the caliper still has a little bit of play. It makes it easier to drop the pads in when you're here. Just gives a little bit more wiggle room to work with. And sometimes you will need to push the pistons back in a little bit so you can get the new pads all the way in, because they are a little bit thicker. And one way I'll do that is by grabbing the old pad, putting it back in, and then just using it to pry the seal out of the way. And then your new pads, hopefully, will drop right in. Or not. A little bit of convincing never hurt anyone. Okay, so I just finished up the passenger side off camera because it's the same thing as the driver's side, but look at this big F right here. This is my second chip now. Right there. Bro. Like, do I look like the type of guy that would curb a set of TEs? No. I think it sucks. I think it just happens when I like pull into dirt turnouts, or there could be rocks in the road. There's a number of things it could be, but yeah, this rear passenger side now has a chip. And the front passenger side has a very similar chip as well. So eventually I'm gonna have to go to R&J and get some mag blue touch-up paint, something really close to it, because yeah, that's definitely gonna bug me. Alright guys, the installs are done for today. The car starts up great with the new battery. The rear brakes don't look as cool, but it's functional, and I actually do like how on the StopTech rotors the hats are painted black, because they were getting a little rusty on the APM rotors, but I still have up front, but eventually they'll get the same StopTech blank rotors. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully that's tomorrow. But anyways, peace out.